Today we're giving 10 reasons why Universal and Disney World are completely different. But if you came here for the drama, you're going to have to go someplace else because we are not that type of people. In fact, we're making this video because we love both brands equally for different reasons. So without further ado, let's get into it. Before we get into today's episode, we just want to mention that this show and all our shows are sponsored by us. Meaning, if you want to plan a trip to Universal or Disney, our travel planning services are completely free to use and we're at your disposal whenever you need us. So if that's something you're interested in, click the link down below or feel free to reach out to us on social media. Okay, number one is the theme and the atmosphere. What really sets these two apart is not that one is better themed than the other. That is subjective. With Disney World, at least classic Disney, is transporting you more into a fantasy, fairy tale type of land that is completely escaping you from reality. And it's not typically themed to a certain IP. There is certain related things. There is certain attractions that are related to IP. Like classic Disney themed lands, say all the lands in Magic Kingdom, are transporting you into different ideas of fantasy, completely taking you out of your element that is the world today and transporting you somewhere else. That's kind of the goal with Disney themed lands. Not to say that Disney in most recent times hasn't taken a page out of Universal's book, leading us into what is Universal all about, Emberlyn?
It is a straight up party, Calfoti.
It is a very straight up party. The atmosphere in general between Universal and Walt Disney World, taking the theming and the lands out of it, when you walk into Universal, it is a straight up party, nonstop party between the music, the atmosphere. It's kind of hard to explain into words, right? Yeah. You kind of have to experience it, but the atmosphere is completely different. And Amberlyn, when you walk into Universal, what's the differences in the lands that you see compared to Disney?
Well, this is a common complaint that I've heard people say, but they don't like that you can see different worlds from the other worlds that you're in.
Yeah. Okay, so that's a small point, but like in general, the lands that you see in Universal, they're based on what?
IP.
Yeah, they're movies.
Yeah.
So the whole idea with Universal across the board is that they're transporting you into the movies, the TV shows, Hollywood in general. And they do this through different elements throughout different lands. Obviously, like you have Minions Land that is more like movie sets, and then you have, different facades that transport you into different parts of Minions Land. Or Simpsons Land is all a facade of Simpsons Land. This is what, one of their more highly acclaimed lands would be Wizarding World lands like Diagon Alley or Hogsmeade. This is where Universal truly shines, is making lands or replicas based off of beloved movies. And recently you've seen a shift in theme parks in general of more IP related lands. That seems to be the more recent of trends, right? We see Wizarding World. Wizarding World was really the start of this, and then of course after that Disney made
Pandora.
Yeah, after that Disney made Pandora, which in its own right Disney knocked out of the park. How do you feel about Pandora?
Oh, I love Pandora. Flight of Passage is iconic.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole land, it transports you into that movie.
This has been the kind of back and forth that we've been seeing from them both.
Yeah, exactly. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and so on and so forth. Say what you will. We love that land. But getting back to the differences between Disney and Universal, the main difference is the theming and the atmosphere. Basically, summed up into words, is just different. You have to go experience them both. and see what you like better, or maybe you don't like one or the other better. Maybe you like them both for their differences, kind of like we do. We don't go into Universal expecting a Disney type of experience. Universal is its own unique thing, and that's what makes it beautiful and different, and what makes it better for consumers like you and me.
Number 2, we're going to be discussing the key attractions and rides in both resorts.
Yeah, and the differences between those rides, because this is one of the main things that sets Disney and Universal apart. Traditionally, and might I say that this is changing. Traditionally, the thinking was Universal is for families with older children and adults, and Disney kind of caters towards all families of all ages and adults. So typically, people would think Universal is for an older audience, but Universal is changing that. They're actively trying to add more family-friendly, of all ages, attractions and lands, like the new DreamWorks land that's coming out. I know it's for families, but I'm excited. I don't know about you. Like Shrek's house. Shrek's house looks amazing.
We've already seen what it looks like.
And the facade. We've just seen
we
the top half.
We saw them working on it.
Yeah. Yeah, Shrek's house looks amazing. Roller coaster, everything about that sounds fun, and my point to that is that Universal is really trying to step up their game with families. But in general, what would you say? Do you agree with that statement of Universal's for older people, older families and adults, and Disney's for...
I will say that the rides at Universal, they lean more towards thrilling, which might not be the best for little kids.
Yeah.
Whereas Disney, it's more about the storytelling of a ride. They don't focus on the thrill or the scream factor.
In each park, there's going to be more rides that don't have height requirements. We'll put it that way. In Disney. In Universal, in each park right now, there is going to be things in that people of all ages can enjoy without any height requirements, but those things are more limited at the moment. When Epic Universe opens, we have things like How to Train Your Dragon Land and things like that are going to be more things that are going to be more attractions for all ages and more shows and all that. But yeah, even in general, Epic Universe and everything, the rides are a lot more thrilling. They're a lot more intense. The way, the whole structure of how you go about Universal's parks is different than Disney. For instance, it may be a small thing that you might not think about. If you are a Disney fanatic and you're like, you've been thinking about going to Universal, one of our biggest tips for you is do not wear a backpack. And if you do wear a backpack, if that beloved Loungefly, you're all ready for your Universal Loungefly, you've got a Wizarding World backpack, maybe that cute little owl one, or whatever it is, you show up to Universal, be prepared to put that backpack in a lot of lockers. And depending on the Loungefly, it's not going to fit in the free lockers unless you squish it. So if you're not a fan of squishing your precious Loungefly, and I get it, those bags are expensive, wear a fanny pack. And there's all kinds of cute fanny packs. Trust me, fanny packs are coming back. I would even wear a fanny pack in Disney World half the time now because they're so much more convenient. Everything's at your waist. You don't have to take it off on attractions, even in Disney World. And this is kind of my point, is that most attractions in Universal, if you wear a fanny pack and you don't have any loose belongings besides that, you do not have to stop at the free lockers and stuff your stuff in a locker, except for Velocicoaster and Rip Ride Rocket and Incredible Hulk Coaster. All of those other attractions, you get to walk right on and enjoy and not have to think about lockers, which not only saves you a ton of time, but you'll be able to go through the park more efficiently. And some of those lockers are pinch points. They get crowded. I've seen Amberlynn's face in some of those. She has to walk away.
I do.
In fact, I just learned recently we've broken a kind of unspoken rule in Universal. It might be a spoken rule sometimes. We've never heard it spoken, but you're technically only supposed to have one person per party go into the lockers.
Nobody listens to that.
even including us, because we didn't know about it.
No.
It's
Well,
probably listed in fine print somewhere around the lockers.
Wait,
but
so does that mean that nobody knows about that rule?
probably not. If we, not saying that we know everything, but I would say that we pay attention to rules the best we can. And I never knew about that. So I don't know if it's just an unspoken rule or if it's an official rule, but
I'm going to be looking for signs now.
yeah, that, if you're listening to this and the reason I knew about it is watching other YouTube videos, pay attention to that stuff. Only have one person inside the lockers, and your experience, hopefully, the more people listen to that, the more better everyone's experience will be inside the lockers.
More better.
More better. I know it's not the proper English. I don't really care.
No, it's more better.
The only ride at Disney World that has done this because of the ride vehicle is Tron. But they've done it the same way Velocicoaster does their lockers, and there's tons of room in there. You put your lockers in one end, and then you go around, you ride the ride, you go around, and your lockers are on the other end. So you're not fighting people in and out, going in and out, in and out. It's just people going in on one side and then people going out on the other. So it's really, really nice. I would say if you have to put your stuff in lockers, every ride should be that system. They can't really retrofit old rides to have that, but all new rides, I almost guarantee will, if there's lockers that you have to put your stuff into, that's the way they'll do it. All that to say that we love both, but it's going to be up to your family to decide whether Universal is going to be more your jam or Disney. Both resorts have amazing rides that you will enjoy just as much as the other. The other thing I would say about Universal rides, because they are more intense, if you suffer from motion sickness, that is going to be a big factor to consider, because a lot of the rides not only are intense, but they're screen-based rides. And screen-based rides tend to make certain people sick. Do you have a preference on what type of rides you enjoy? Like, would you lean towards Universal more than Disney sometimes? Does it depend on how you're feeling? Is that a loaded question?
Yes, that is a loaded question. Hence the deer in the headlights look. Can we have another question?
Like, okay, not like what's better than the other, but like what sets them apart besides the thrilling factor? Is there elements? They are different. Like, you have to admit, you're in a Universal attraction.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I like the queues better at Disney.
Yeah, except for certain ones, like, like Forbidden Journey, like they did really well with that queue.
Kong,
they went over the top of that queue.
That queue is so scary.
Yeah, like legit, like it's a little, if HHN is anything like Kong, like I don't know, man. I don't know if I can handle it.
We can't even handle the animatronic lady that's in there.
Oh, it's scary, man. Like, we have such a low tolerance for that scariness, like in person, like horror type of scare. Like, man, I don't know. Yeah.
We might just die.
Yeah. No. Yeah, you're right. The queues on the older attractions, they stuff a lot into Universal. Like, some of the coasters, like Incredible Hulk doesn't have the best queue in the world. Rip Ride Rocket, terrible queue. But yeah, I would say, again, that's another area that Universal is definitely stepping their game up in general. Like the VillainCon queue, which is, that's their newest attraction, right? VillainCon. Yeah, VillainCon is their newest attraction. They really did well with that queue. Like, the whole, like, you're actually in a villain convention, and there's different booths everywhere. I really like that. But yeah, there is a difference. And you definitely know, if you've been to Disney a few times and you go to Universal, you'll notice the difference. Even the ride vehicles, the way the rides operate, it feels different. Not that it's bad, it's just different. And they're, you gotta get used to it. There's a different feel to it. I think that goes back to the thrill, though, the thrill factor.
Okay, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Without thinking too much about it, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Web shooters or Spider-Man?
Spider-Man.
Really?
Oh, all day. I like web shooters, or web slingers, you mean? I think it's called web slingers.
I swear it's called web shooters.
Pretty sure it's web slingers. Because you don't shoot webs, you sling
You so
them.
do.
You sling them.
Oh.
I don't know. Oh no, yeah. Web slingers is a great attraction. It's what
you get an arm workout.
I feel like it's what needed to be there.
Yeah.
Because until they expand Avengers Campus, you got to have thrill, and you got to have something that, like, going back to something that families can enjoy. Like, not everybody's going to be able to experience Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout.
That is true.
Because of the intensity of it. So, you got to have something that everybody can enjoy, like the web slingers or web shooters, whatever it's called. Yeah. In fact,
should be called web shooters.
Should we do a comparison of who has the better Marvel themed land, like a whole video dedicated to it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we should.
We should, because, okay, Universal is leaning more towards comic books, whereas the one in California is leaning more towards
it's MCU,
the cinematic universe.
Well, yeah, because we can get into that.
Yeah,
we got to move on. Okay, number 3 is the park size and layout. The park size and layout and the 2 resorts. Starting with Disney World. If you haven't been to Disney World, it's the size of it could be a very small state. We'll put it that way. It's its own
state.
There's a reason that they call it the bubble, right? And you go into Walt Disney World, you are in the bubble. It is big. There's all kinds of transportation to meet your needs of traveling throughout the bubble, but Walt Disney World is big. It's not really walkable. In fact, we were talking to our friends recently, and they really want to plan their first Walt Disney World trip, and they are Disneylanders, West Coasters, and they were talking about the idea, and they had all these questions about what's different about Walt Disney World, and without like trying to overwhelm them, the first thing that people see sometimes is the fact that Disney World, the property of Disney World, is 2 times bigger than the island of Manhattan. And you think about that, it's just, it's very overwhelming. So, the fact that there's 4 parks, 2 water parks, not that they're both open at the same time, over 20 resorts if you're counting all the off-property hotels or off-property on-property, depending on how you look at it. And Universal Orlando is pretty big when you think size-wise. It is a big chunk of land, but in comparison to Disney, it is a lot smaller. So when you're talking about theme park size, everything is walkable, and it's not overwhelming to walk. You're still going to be tired out at the end of the day. The parks are still big, but you have City Walk, which is Universal shopping district. In comparison, it's like Disney's Disney Springs, but Universal Edition is City Walk. Everything in there, the whole Universal Orlando Resort is walkable. And how do you feel about the difference in between?
I feel like it's a lot easier to get around on the Universal property, just because you don't have to wonder, like, okay, when is the next bus coming? Is it going to be full?
And they do offer those still.
Yeah, but you don't need them.
Right.
Because it's so close. Everything is so close, which is nice. But there's also not as much to do as in Walt Disney World.
Right, which will soon change with Epic Universe. It'll be more...
Yes. ...of
a fair fight, I would say, because that park will be massive, and you will need to take transportation there unless you're staying at the hotel that's on property. But comparing the Universal that's there right now, it is smaller, and besides Volcano Bay, you do have to take a bus to get to, unless you're staying at Cabana Bay, and you can walk there. But in general, the property is smaller. It's like comparing Disneyland to Universal Orlando, I would say. Disneyland California to Universal Orlando, it's kind of similar sized, property. It's parceled out very differently. Like, it's not apples to oranges, it's just different. But I like this about Universal Orlando, and like you said, I really like the fact that you can walk to everything. It's not super overwhelming to maybe somebody on their first theme park experience. And it might still be a little overwhelming because they're still big, but in comparison, it has the opportunity to be more manageable for someone new to theme parks.
Yeah, you're not going to feel like you need to kill yourself in order to get everything done.
Well, you still can very easily.
Well, yeah.
You got to have a good plan. You got to have a good itinerary. But what I like about it too is if you do not want to take a long vacation, say a week vacation or more, you can do a lot of things in Universal Orlando in a good long weekend, like a 3-night weekend. It's and you're not breaking the bank, and you can still have fun and do tons of stuff. You can do the same thing with Disney, but there's like the aspect of FOMO, like which parks do I go to? Which parks do I miss out on? So you got to be a little more experienced, know what you want from a Disney World vacation if you're going to do a shorter stay. So it's different, and there's nothing like being immersed in a bubble like knowing that everything around you is Disney as someone that wants to be there. Like there's nothing better than being surrounded with something that you love. And yeah, it's just different.
Now we enter our fourth topic, Calfoti, entertainment and shows. And there are plenty of those in both resorts.
What's the differences though? What would you say is there?
There's a quality difference. That's a hot take.
No. It's just no, because entertainment like the Born Stuntacular.
That's amazing.
Come on.
No, I was talking about Disney needs to up their games with the shows.
No.
Yes.
Lion King. They need to upgrade Lion King.
No.
Lion King's amazing. That's what I'm saying. Is each park, each resort has amazing shows.
Maybe I need to go to more shows in Disney because I just feel like after watching the Stuntacular, it blew my mind. I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I would say, okay, but we're talking about differences. I would say the main differences are the demographic the shows and entertainment appeals to. Again, going back to Universal, it's going to be more adult feeling.
Yes.
Like, yeah, just in general.
Jason Bourne is not for kids.
Yeah. Yeah. And not that the show isn't, but it's not going to relate to younger kids. There is some some fake shooting, so that loud
noises, explosions.
Like yeah, it is amazing. It'll blow your mind. But yeah, and Disney has some of that too. Like Indiana Jones is a little more intense.
The shows are just more adult in Universal than Disney. Disney is more based on like we're not going to scare the children.
Yeah.
Whereas Universal's like, hey kids, let's go to the horror makeup show.
Oh yeah,
and watch us cut off this lady's arm.
Yeah. I wish. Okay. We never experienced the attraction Alien. I got to experience it when it was the Stitch version, and it was the same thing except Stitchified. We'll say it that way. You're in this like chamber, and the alien escapes, and you can feel him like breathing on your neck, and like he spits at you at some point, and things like that. And Stitch does his own version of that. It was an awesome attraction. I got to experience it as a kid, and I will never forget how cool it was. I'll have to show you a video of it sometime. But Alien made people terrified. That's why they got rid of it.
Sounds like something that you would find in Universal. Yes.
And I feel like Universal needs to take that IP. It would never happen, but that like Universal make a ride like that, because I would go there all day.
Perhaps in Dark Universe.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, the nighttime. Besides, okay, I will say the quality difference in nighttime spectaculars, there is no comparison.
Oh, yeah.
Just because Disney has not only... It's mostly comes down to square footage again. Disney has the capacity to funnel a lot of people into an area to show them an amazing, beautiful, long show. Universal at the moment just doesn't have the capacity for that. So the shows that they do have, like the projections on the castle, or the projections on Hogwarts Castle, or right now they're actually revamping their nighttime shows. So there really isn't a lot of nighttime shows or any nighttime shows going on right now. But when they do, they're actually going to add a drone show, which will be the first theme park in Orlando. Don't quote me on that. Pretty sure to have a drone show incorporated. Disney, it's okay. Disney does it in international. They do it in international parks like Disneyland Paris. Universal does it in California. So it's already being done, but we don't have anything like that in Orlando. And there's footage of them testing it. Did you see that?
I did. You sent it to me.
Yeah. So they're testing it. They're testing it. So we're both super excited about the thought of drone shows. I love seeing video of drone shows. I've never seen one in real life.
Opening night, we're going to be there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Yeah. Whenever that comes about, we are going to be there to see it. Yeah. Number five is going to be the difference in character meet and greets. And I would say this is pretty comparable. It just comes down to IP. Which IP do you relate with more? DreamWorks characters, Simpsons characters, Scooby-Doo characters, things, it's just different IP than you would find in Disney World. So do you relate more to Disney World characters?
See, here's the thing. I have always had this fear of people in costume. Especially when I can't see their face. I don't know who's under that mask.
See, I'm the opposite because I'm socially awkward when I don't know what to converse about. So I get really clammy. Clammy? That's not a good. I get clammed up. Like, I just can't talk.
It's you.
I can't get. But when they're inside a costume and you can't see their actual face, I at least don't, even if I make a fool of myself, at least I don't, it's just a costumed character. I don't know. It feels okay to me to, it's not a big deal if,
Well, as an introvert, I have issue with strangers hugging me or touching me. I don't. No. But I'm trying to get over that.
Yeah, because it is fun.
It is.
Once you do get over that in the moment, because I feel, similarly, it is fun to meet characters, but you do have to get over that. And I know we're not alone in that. I'm sure there's plenty of people that feel awkward about meeting characters, face characters or non-face characters. I think the face characters, like meeting the princesses or,
See, that is less scary to me because I can see their face.
No, I don't know, because then they're it's an actual real person and you're
Although
I don't know.
I don't feel that way about Beetlejuice. I am never approaching that man.
Yeah. I get you there. Yeah, he's intimidating.
Nope, I'm steering clear, man.
Knowing his personality, man, I can't.
I don't know what's going to come out of his mouth and I don't want to know.
Yeah, no, I'm good. He's cool though. I mean, they do a good job in
yeah, he's cool from a distance.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. This is completely tangent, but it does have to do with characters. Do you know how they do the Transformers characters?
There's a person inside there. I know it.
How?
They put them on stilts.
Yes.
I knew it.
I don't know that for an exact fact, but when you look at them and how they move, they look exactly like the characters that are on stilts throughout the other parts of the park.
You mean for the Mardi Gras celebration?
Yeah, like Mardi Gras, or like the pharaoh-looking people in front of the mummy.
Yeah.
They walk kind of similarly, it's a flow.
Yeah.
So you can I never you have to look closely to see it though. They do that. They do the Transformers really well. That's impressive to me. But if you do look closely, you can kind of see the character and how it moves with the stilts. That's a tough job, man.
I would not mind approaching them because they're not going to hug me.
Yeah.
They can't hug me. They're on stilts. We are up to number 6. Number 6 being dining experiences in both parks.
Okay, let's start with Universal. How do you feel about Universal's dining experience?
Well, there's a lot of different options. I feel like it could be better.
Yeah, I would say that
I mean, I haven't eaten a lot in the parks per se, but I know from what other people have said, like the Fantastic Four Cafe.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of these in Disney World too. There's a lot of people pleaser restaurants that isn't going to be the best food. It's typical theme park food: hot dogs, hamburgers, pizza, you name it, chicken fingers,
Pizzarizos.
Yeah, well, there's a ton of those.
Yeah.
It's not just like Pizzarizos, it's like, actually, Hollywood Studios doesn't have a ton of them. Well, yeah, like Backlot, what is it called? Backlot Express. We've never eaten there. But, there's like Sunny Eclipse. Not Sunny Eclipse. What is that? No, wow, I'm getting this all confused.
You mean Croissant Moon Cafe?
No, in Disney World.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You know where Disney World, in Magic Kingdom, Sunny Eclipse, the alien that plays the piano.
Oh my gosh. Cosmic Rays.
Yeah, Cosmic Rays. There's just every theme park is going to have people pleaser restaurants that aren't going to be the best food. What I mean is more like the more unique dining experiences. Let's comparing those, like
can you imagine
the chocolate emporium and things like that.
Yes, okay.
Can you imagine?
Can you imagine if they had a dining experience in Wizarding World where you ate in the Grand Hall? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that would be cool.
With the floating candles and everything?
It'd be hard.
But it would be cool. It could be like a really expensive dining experience, like Be Our Guest in Disney World.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, it could be. Yeah.
That would be awesome.
But yeah, comparing the more unique dining experiences.
I feel like Disney does a really good job with that. Roundup Rodeo, Be Our Guest. I don't know what else.
Well, yeah, going through the different parks. Hollywood Studios has Sci-Fi Dine-In Theater, which we enjoy a lot.
Yeah, a lot of people might disagree, but
Animal Kingdom, we haven't really experienced too much sit-down dining, but it does have unique experiences like Satuli Canteen, a couple cool lounges. I would say there's just more to choose from in Disney. And in my experience, a lot of the meals in Disney are bangers. Not to say that in Universal there isn't a lot of food that's amazing. Like, I really enjoyed Lombards.
Yeah, they were good.
Yeah, and honestly, if you're looking for solid seafood in Florida, like, man, especially in Central Florida, it was really good.
I really liked it in there. It was very chill.
Yeah, and the environment in there. So Universal does, their sit-down dining is nice, but there's less options where I feel like the whole menu just nails it compared to Disney. But it just goes down to size too, but like my preference is always going to be in Disney dining. I feel like it has the touch. Universal, again, is, I think, continually trying to step up their game, just like
with Minion Cafe. They're trying. Yeah,
Minion Cafe is the best quick service in Universal, I would say. Out of all the ones we've tried so far, it is the best quick service in Universal across the board.
The last thing I got, that thing with the noodles, and she did the whole presentation, I was like, this is the best day of my life.
Yeah, honestly. I really enjoy Mini Cafe. I guess what I'm trying to say is that, there is more. Some of the meals I've had, for the quality compared to price and the experience, like Vivo.
Oh, yeah.
Vivo is just like, it's okay.
It's not okay.
But like, if I'm going to pay, $30, $40, $50 to $60 per person.
That food better make me cry.
No. I mean, even, okay. But even if the food is not the main, like if the food does not like make me sing, at least the experience will push it there. You know what I mean? So
atmosphere.
Like Toothsomes, the food that we've had so far is a solid 3 to 4 out of 5, I would say, depending on what you get. But the atmosphere pushes it to a 5 out of 5 because of where you're at. It's like, that's one of those restaurants that completely takes you out of where you're at into this wonderful world of chocolate.
chocolate.
So it's just there's less of those experiences, I would say, Universal. There's a lot more just like solid dining options, that are at a price point where I'd rather just get a quick service.
Yeah. There's a lot of good snack places in Universal, but I feel like with the sit-down dining, there's room for improvement.
Yeah, I mean, like, all the choices I think are going to be solid. That's not what I'm saying, like, quality-wise. But just, like, I don't really want to go sit at NBC Sports and Grill. You know what I mean? It just doesn't sound fun.
It sounds boring.
Yeah. Like, that's never going to be a place. I've heard they have good food. And the same with most of the places I've heard they had good food. But if I'm going to a theme park and I'm sitting down at a restaurant, I'm going to pick something that immerses me somewhere else. And I don't always feel that as strongly about that, but there has to be some element of that. And I would say that's where Disney World shines in comparison, is they have more options that offer that. Like, I just don't ever feel... We went in Lombard's that one day, mostly because we wanted to get away from people and have a nice sit-down meal, and that was the only place that was available at, like, immediately. And we were really pleasantly surprised with the atmosphere. Like, I would go back.
I think we were just so happy to be away from the people
Yeah.
and the sun and...
Yeah, exactly. But Finnegan's, I've heard, is good food, but it just doesn't appeal to me. Not that I don't like Irish food, but it's just like... there's something about, it's not like, wow. There's a reason you go to Voodoo Donuts, right? They might not have the best donuts, but the experience of going in there is
cool.
awesome.
The rotating table with the donut choices, I'm like, this is the best.
And it's like, I keep going back to Toothsome's, but that's the reason you go to Toothsome's, right?
Yeah, for the experience.
So if there's anything I would say in comparison, it's all the food that you're going to try is going to be really good in both parks, but there's more immersive experiences to offer in Disney right now. That might change, but right now, my hand goes to Disney as far as the difference between the two.
I have to agree with you.
Okay, number 7 is going to be the accommodations and resorts. And this is another big one that really separates Disney and Universal right now. I say right now because the balances are going to be more leveled out. Not perfectly leveled out, but more leveled out. So here's my breakdown.
Okay.
Taking quality aside, would you rather stay at Disney World or Universal?
Disney World.
Yeah. Why?
Because without question, I don't know what it is, but I
think it goes back to the bubble, right?
It goes back to the bubble, yes. You're transported. You're in Disney. Nothing in the universe could take you out of it because you look out the window and you're at Disney. You look out the window when you're in Universal, you see a street.
Not necessarily.
With buildings.
Only at Endless Summer.
Okay.
Only at Endless Summer. And I will say, okay, putting quality back into it, money, dollar for dollar, who gives you more bang for your buck?
Disney.
What?
I don't know.
Think about Cabana Bay, $140 a night, often cheaper than you'll get All-Star sports, music, and movies for.
Wait.
Basic price. Or even, let's say it's the same price. Same price. Cabana Bay versus All-Star Sports.
Okay.
Or All-Star Resorts. Which one?
Oh, Cabana Bay. Dang it. Because they have the lazy river, and they have the bowling alley, and they have the little drink bar, and they have a bar inside, and there's way more to do. You do get more bang for your buck. Dang, I was wrong.
And you can walk to Volcano Bay.
Yeah.
No transportation needed.
And you can walk to the parks from there.
Yeah, it's a long walk, but you can do it.
It's like 30 minutes.
So that's what I'm saying is, like, it's hard to compare them because Universal's hotels and resorts are absolutely amazing. And I would say where they truly shine, again, is their value resorts currently. Not to say we actually haven't been able to experience too much the higher priced resorts
Yet.
And I know they all come with their own unique dining experiences and everything, but especially when you're comparing value resorts, you're going to get a lot more bang for your buck in Universal resorts. I think when you're comparing deluxe resorts, not in amenities, well, not in the benefits included, but the feeling and the deluxe feeling that you're getting compared to Disney and Universal, I would give that hand to Disney still. The touches that they put into their deluxe resorts and even some of their moderates is put a step above Universal's currently.
I'm always looking for hidden Mickeys.
Yeah, and all kinds of stuff, right? Like when you walk into Animal Kingdom Lodge, great example is you don't feel like you're in Disney World. You don't even feel like you're in Florida. You are in Africa, and that feeling Disney does very well with their deluxe resorts.
You could see vultures from your bedroom window.
The immersiveness, but okay, for a moment, looking at Universal's benefits for staying on property. Each property, similar to Disney World, is going to come with early park admission. At Disney World, it's called early entry. Universal, it's called early park admission. Disney World, you get a half hour each day in each of the parks. In Universal, currently, it's an hour each day, usually in Islands of Adventure. Some once in a while, it's going to be Universal Studios. But mostly it's going to be Islands of Adventure. Who knows what that looks like once, again, Epic Universe opens. That whole structure is probably going to be different. But if you stay in the three deluxe category resorts or top tier resorts at Universal, you are getting unlimited express pass for your whole length of stay, including check-in and check-out day, which if it is an amazing value. So if you're planning a Universal trip and you're like on the fence of whether you wanted to buy Express Pass or not, if you pay a little more extra money, again, these rooms start at $350 a night on the low end. They get a lot more expensive than that, but on the low end, they're going to be $350 a night, and you're getting free Universal Express Pass. And during busy times, Universal Express Pass, Unlimited Express Pass, is like $250 or even a little bit more than that per person per day. So if you get four people, $350 for, let's say, okay, on the high end, let's say you're paying $500 a night for your room. Taking tickets out of the equation, you want to get Express Pass. Like, if Express Pass alone for a family of four, you're talking $1,000 a day. You chop that in half, you get unlimited Express Pass staying at their top tier resort. That's a huge savings. Again, it's going to go down to what is your family's needs, what kind of stay are you having, and where do you want to go? Because Disney does have more options of resorts too, more themes. It's just different. But both are good options. You got to choose what's best for you.
We shall be talking about ticket prices and packages that are offered.
The main difference is the pricing, I feel like, is going to be very similar when you're looking at it per day basis. Again, Universal right now is a shorter trip, so the maximum amount of days you can buy at Universal Orlando is 5. So in general, that's going to be a cheaper ticket price than what you're buying at Disney. What I will say is that Universal more oftentimes than Disney will put out deals for their tickets. Like right now, they're running a buy 2, get 2 days free special, which is a huge value.
Oh yeah, we just did that with my brother.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for 4 days he paid a little over $200, I want to say.
That's a steal.
For a park to park two park to park ticket. That's a big
mouthful.
Yeah. 2 park to park ticket.
Park to park.
Yeah. Disney, obviously more parks, you can do more days, so you can do up to a 10-day ticket. Those days will get cheaper the more you add. So oftentimes, if you're thinking about a longer vacation, the more days you add, the shorter span in between the two prices, the shorter the span is going to be between the two prices. What I mean is, so say a 4-day ticket is going to cost you a little over $500 roughly. If you did a 10-day ticket, it's probably not going to cost you that much more. In fact, it's probably going to be, in the $600 range to $650 for, just a basic one park per day ticket, which you would think like, okay, 5 days versus 10 days, it's going to be double the price. But it's really not, because Disney's incentivizing you to stay longer. Obviously, that way, you can shop more, eat more food.
Right.
They're still making their money, and you're still able to enjoy more days in the park, if that's what you're looking for. So it is just apples and oranges. It's what you prefer or what you don't prefer. There isn't going to be a ton of difference in ticketing prices. That's one reason to follow our travel agency on social media, because we post all the latest deals that Universal and Disney has, so that you can save the most money and decide when you want to go and what's the best deal for you.
And then you can use us as your travel agents. Hint, hint, wink, wink.
Exactly. Number 9 is going to be the major differences between their seasonal events and festivals. And this is another big difference between Disney and Universal. Why are you so excited?
Because we're going to talk about one of my favorite things.
What is your favorite things?
The Festival of the Arts.
Oh, well, yeah, that is an aspect of it. I would say the major difference lies in more of the holiday period, like comparing Mickey's Not So Scary to HHN.
Oh.
This is one of the reasons we haven't been to HHN before, because it just seems a little bit much for us, and I think there was only certain houses that we'd be able to handle, to be honest with you.
I could not even handle. Remember we went to that scary event in Six Flags?
Yeah, and that's like peanuts.
And I was trying to jump onto your shoulders.
Yeah, but you've grown a lot as a person since then, though.
That is also true. But do I want to risk it? That is the question.
Yeah. We might go and only experience certain things that we feel comfortable with, or we feel like we're going to be comfortable with.
We need a code word. We need a safe word, man.
Yeah. Like some of the houses last year sounded cool, like Yeti.
The Last of Us.
Last of Us, Stranger Things, things like that. The other houses we don't really get behind, and it's just not really our thing. But yeah, there's major differences between the family-friendly aspect of it. But going back to what you mentioned earlier, say like the festivals in Epcot, okay? In general, the festivals in Epcot compared to something like a Mardi Gras. What do you think?
Okay, so I think the Mardi Gras event was more based on like food and a parade, but there weren't like specific activities that you could participate in. Sure, there were like
Photo ops,
yes, but I mean, you could also get photo ops at the Festival of the Arts, but there were also booths where you could enjoy people's artwork, or there were those bike thingies that you could make spin art on, and it was awesome.
Yeah.
I just feel like it was more immersive. You could do more.
I'm saying festivals in general, though, not just Festival of the Arts.
Okay.
Like, because, okay, think about food and wine. There's nothing to do besides food.
Food and drink.
Food and drink.
Yeah,
really.
okay. So
there's certain,
that is not my favorite festival.
No.
Obviously, Festival of the Arts is the favorite. But I also like Flower and Garden. Again, there's lots of things to do.
Yeah.
There's topiaries to look at, but there's also the butterfly tent thing where you can walk in and there's literally butterflies everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a different feel, but they also don't have a parade. So, and that's one of people's favorite things. So, yeah, again, going back to the different feel between Universal and Disney, it is going to feel, specifically their events in general are going to feel more adult-like and more adult and older people focused.
And last but certainly not least is point number 10, future expansions inside the parks.
Yeah, and this is a fairly big one. And I would say where people kind of are in the stream of time between Universal and Disney. A lot of people are saying that Universal's Epic Universe is, going to leave Disney in the dust and all this stuff. Don't get me wrong. I think Epic Universe is going to be one of the biggest things in Orlando, but it doesn't mean the death of Disney. It definitely does not mean the death of Disney. That's a lot of D's. Definitely does not mean the death of Disney.
DOD.
I was trying to say that. It's like 5 times. It wasn't coming out. Disney is a huge company, right? They have all kinds of facets of their company.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts.
And I just want to say again, we're not getting into the political stuff. I know that there's a shareholder vote going on right now, the blue card, the green card, the white card. We don't get involved in any of that. This is not your source of that. This is purely just our conjecture, what we think is happening, again, from our love of both resorts. That being said, Disney has all things going on right now. Disney has a new cruise ship opening this year.
The Treasure.
Yep, the Treasure. They have international parks. Universal does too, but Disney's are a lot bigger, and they're expanding them. Tokyo is opening a whole huge area in, I want to say 90 days, something like that. It's close. You know, Disneyland Paris had expansions. Shanghai just had expansions. Disney has all these different things going on. A lot of people, they're only thinking about Orlando. And, when they think about the major theme park battles between Universal and Disney. But you have to think about everything else going on around the whole entire globe, That being said, Epic Universe will absolutely change the game of theme parks in Orlando, in the US, maybe even the whole world, right? Because there's so many brand new elements that have never been done before. If you haven't seen our Epic Universe video, go check that out. But honestly, it's changing the game for theme parks. But the main question from people is, what is Disney's rebuttal? What is Disney going to do? And the main answer is,
we don't know.
Exactly. But we can surmise that obviously Disney is not going to just lay there and do nothing. Besides riding on the success of hopefully, a brand new attraction of Tiana's, I expect that attraction to be very cool, since it's just a reskinned Splash Mountain. You already know the ride elements are going to be amazing. All the drops and everything. As long as they nail the story, that ride will be amazing. That will ride us into 2025, right? And that's where we're getting new hotels from. We forgot to mention, Universal's building 3 new hotels. So when you're thinking about and comparing resorts to Disney, there's some things that we can't really compare because we're not seeing the new resorts that Universal is building right now. That might change our opinion of, because they're universe themed, they look amazing. But going into 2025, early 2025, you're getting 2 brand new resorts, which we are staying at both of. And then you're going to the, hopefully summer of 2025, sometime, we're getting Epic Universe. What is Disney going to do? Well, they announced in their shareholder meeting that they will start updating the parks starting in 2025. That is super vague. The other thing that we know is that in Disneyland, California, obviously not in Orlando, but still relevant, is that in the past, Josh D'Amaro has said that they have room for a 3rd theme park, meaning that could be an expansion that they haven't announced yet. D23 will change everything, in my opinion.
Yeah?
This is not like official announcement or anything. This is just my opinion.
You don't think they're overhyping this one?
Well, they are definitely hyping it up. Whether they are overhyping or not is to be decided, right?
Yeah.
And that's also in the eye of the beholder. Some, no matter what, are going to say, oh, it's overhyped. But I feel that given Epic Universe, I think we're going to see some major announcements in D23 for the theme parks. I mean, I just feel like they kind of have to.
Yeah.
Some things that we know, obviously they've teased expansions in Magic Kingdom. They've teased expansions in Animal Kingdom, and it's all been blue sky up to this moment.
Yeah.
I think that there will be concrete, no longer blue sky. Here's what's happening.
Just give us something tangible.
And I think it'll be sooner than we think. Think about Tiana's. I know they were just reskinning that attraction, but they're turning a frontier-based attraction into a bayou-based attraction. So there's a lot of elements I feel like that still need to be changed, and obviously all the animatronics and everything. They turned that thing around pretty quick. Tiana's closed end of 2022? Oh no, start of 2023.
Yeah.
And it's opening summer of 2024. That's a fairly quick build. And for a company, Disney in the past, Tron has taken a long time to build and everything else. All this to say, trying to wrap this up, is it's not apples to apples. It can't be a direct comparison between Universal and Disney. They are separate companies. They do their own things. We love them both for their different reasons. We're super excited about Epic Universe, if you haven't gathered that by now. But I haven't and will not give up hope on Disney, because I absolutely love Disney. I think they will continue to put an amazing effort into their parks. I think that we'll see new expansions, new announcements this summer at D23. Again, that's just my thinking. I really hope it's the case, because I'm really excited about D23. I always get excited about D23, even it's the small version.
We're really hoping to be there this time.
Yeah. We're holding out to buy tickets. We've got the date set. We're going to really try as hard as we can to get tickets and get out there so we can cover the news and cover the content, as it unfolds, And yeah, I don't know. We love both these companies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And if you want to take a trip to Universal or Disney, or how about both?
Do both.
Yeah, do both. If you want to take that trip of a lifetime, reach out to us, click the link in the description, or follow us on social media, send us a message. We help you out. And all our services are completely free. So it's a no-brainer. Go do that today. Help us help you plan the trip. We've talked a lot about Universal and Disney, but my favorite event that we've ever been to so far, it was in Universal. If you want to learn more about that, click the video right here. It's a whole podcast dedicated to our experience at Universal Orlando Informer Meetup. So go click that. I've been Cal.
I've been Amberlynn.
And you've been watching
The Adventure Gateway.